So this is my first video recording since I had nose surgery, as I had a slightly deviated septum. They took cartilage out of my right ear and put it into my nose, obviously. I know I sound different, I know I look different, and my jawline isn't matched up yet. My face is still kind of paralyzed slightly. So if any of you are annoyed by that, I apologize, but the reviews must continue. With that in mind, Ozark Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Ozark, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And if you're a fan of Ozark and you absolutely love this series and wish it would continue, but this is it, and if you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure you smash that like button, share the video with whomever you want or whatever social media platform that you want. Don't forget to sound off in the comments section about what your thoughts are on this episode. Now, I've only at the moment watched this episode. I haven't watched any of the other final episodes of the season. So be aware of spoilers, but sound off. Let me know what you think. Crazy events in this episode, obviously. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, if you're watching the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, join the team, and show your support. This will be Ozark Season 4, Episode 8. The title of this episode is called The Cousin of Death. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Of course, it starts off right where we left off at in Episode 7, where Javi has killed Darlene and Wyatt. And crazy, by the way, that was crazy. Didn't expect Wyatt to get killed, although it made sense because his character was dating a really old woman, or married to her, actually, at the point. But Ruth, obviously, is traumatized over that. And she's driving, and she's extremely upset still. And then we see a memory of Ruth. I don't know if this was a previous scene or hallucination, but it's her and Wyatt on top of the mobile home, smoking weed, having a good time. And then Ruth says Wyatt should have to give up sleeping on the roof. And then Wyatt mentions he's actually afraid of heights, which doesn't make any sense that he goes on top of the mobile home. Javi talks to Marty while he's flying. He wants Marty to clean up something for him, and that's to take care of that hillbilly cunt. Ruth, of course. Wendy talks about the safe thing to do is to tell Javi about Ruth, what her plans are, what she's going to do. Ruth seems a little bit more focused now as she visits Charlotte and Jonah at the motel. And then Charlotte mentions to Ruth that Javi has a meeting with Marty and Wendy in Chicago at Shaw Medical tomorrow morning. And Jonah actually provides Ruth with a picture of Javi because she had never seen what he looked like up to this point. So Wendy goes to Ruth's and says that Javi is on a plane to Mexico, and when he comes back, they will help her kill him. But, of course, Ruth knows that Wendy is lying because she had the conversation with Charlotte and Jonah. So she just kind of agrees with Wendy and then says stupid bitch or something like that when she leaves, cunt or something like that. Then Ruth goes to visit Frank Cosgrove Jr., and he gives her a gun because she needs a gun because she's planning to kill Javi. And then Ruth has a vision that she shoots Javi. Marty calls Ruth just to make sure she's okay. Ruth says she needs a minute to get her head straight, probably more than a minute. And then we see that Ruth has arrived at Shaw Medical in Chicago. Ruth calls and talks to 3. He's obviously upset about Wyatt's death as well. And then Ruth has another vision with Wyatt when they were younger, of her chilling with him on top of the mobile home or trailer, whatever you want to call it. Ruth then calls Claire Shaw's office to find out what time the meeting is. She says she is Charlotte, so they give her the information. And then Ruth notices that Nelson is standing outside the entrance, and then she sees Marty and Wendy, and then next she notices Javi, and then grabs the gun out of her glove box that Frank Cosgrove Jr. had given her, and then she has the opportunity to kill Javi, but she freezes when she has the chance to, and then Marty notices Ruth. So Marty calls Ruth, and Ruth calls Marty Dr. Phil, and Marty tells Ruth to go home. Ruth has a vision that she shoots Marty and Wendy, And then Javi is at a business dinner, and I don't remember the character's name. I'm sure he was in previous episodes, but I didn't rewatch the previous episodes of season 4 before I started watching this. So my apologies if I can't remember the character's name. Maybe he wasn't in it, though. But he has this business dinner, and then the guy's like, well, excuse me, I have to go to the restroom. And as this guy's peeing in the restroom, Javi comes in and kind of assaults him a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but he wants to make a donation after that and write a check. And then Ruth interrupts the birds' dinner with Claire, and she demands to go to Claire's fucking office. And what Ruth wants is them to call Javi, and Ruth actually calls Wendy soulless, which actually kind of fits, and says that Marty pretends to care. Obviously, Ruth, Marty does care. He does really care a lot about you. You just don't see it. And then Wendy calls Javi and says Claire will give him stock options and to come to her office to get everything official. And then Javi does arrive at Claire's office, and bam! Ruth shoots and kills Javi right then and there. Well, that was fast. I mean, wow. Okay, these villains on Ozark don't necessarily last long. You know, Dell in season 1, Jacob Snell was around for a while. Darlene Snell was around for a while. Navarro is locked up and, you know, throwing away the key essentially at this point. But Javi, I thought, would be the main villain for the rest of the show. But nope, he's dead unless that was a hallucination. So she kills him, which I mentioned that was fast. And then Ruth goes to her vehicle and cries some more. And then the episode ends with Ruth leaving the parking lot. And that's it for the first episode of the second half of season 4. So it was kind of slow. And then bam, Javi is killed. Okay, wow. I did not see that coming. I thought he would be around for at least a little while longer. I thought he would die, obviously, but not this soon. So as far as my score of this episode of Ozark, I'm going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. Like I mentioned, it was a little slow, but obviously it was slow for a reason. And the character of the episode, you got to go with Ruth here. I mean, Ruth, she was the main focus of the episode, and she was listening to this nice hip-hop track, too. It sounded like Nas. I know it's not Nas, and I don't know who the guy that she talked to in the episode was, and I think my nose is dripping a little bit. Sorry about that, everybody. But that was something I didn't mention that I did want to say something about because I don't know who it was, but it sounded like Nas, but that obviously the person that she talked to at the diner or whatever restaurant, that wasn't Nas. So you've heard what I have to say. Now, of course, it's your turn. Like I mentioned before, if you're a fan of Ozark and you want to help out with the YouTube algorithm, or if you like anything else that's on JDev TV, such as Walking Dead reviews, Better Call Saul reviews, I will start those very soon here, probably within the next week, since I've almost caught up to the new episodes. Game of Thrones stuff, Breaking Bad stuff, UFC live fight reactions. When I'm watching a fight, I record my reaction. You don't actually see the fight. Well, in a couple videos you do. And then, of course, again, it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, so smash that like button. Share the video with whomever you want or whatever platform you want. Sound off in the comments section about what your thoughts are on this episode. Did you really think Javi was going to die this soon, unless it was some kind of hallucination? And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support to be a part of something special, and JDev will return.